Alright, Redbird Gamers, welcome back once again. As per normal, if you like what I do, drop a like and subscribe, comment. I'm going to leave the competition up for a couple more days, possibly depending on when this video goes out. Otherwise, the draw will be done on Saturday night, that being Saturday the, let me get back to you there, it's the 25th and 7. Oh, as long as everything goes to plan, that'll be June, the very first weekend of June, so, but yeah, this coming Saturday, I'm just doing some basing, doing the rim of a couple of crosser suits that obviously have had their actual basing material put down, the snow. So one I might have to touch up slightly just to give it a little bit of extra darkness around. You can see there where the base comes shone through. In terms of when I had the models blue tacked to the base so that I could actually prime them. So both done, nice, quick, fast and sharp. That deals with that. That was a slight plan for 30 seconds. We have gone ahead and primed another commander so we can actually pull him apart, get him off the base. He's dry, so model being dry is a bonus. Which means that he can come apart. I can take off his arms, separate upper and lower body. Just see him over the back there, and he is actually ready for panel lining, and then dry brushing, panel lining and painting. And that's actually something that didn't happen to as you can see there. See, that's what happens. The grey doesn't stay through. Same one here. I might have to go and paint over those with something. Definitely not that of Corax white. No. Ooh, I think I have a grey here of some sort. I just have to find it. Which is really not standing out to me right now. On base. Now, that's becomes a little frustrating. 3 silvers. And Dawnstone Grey, which is a dry brush, but it's not what I'm after. I'm after. Okay. Well, it looks like the greyest thing I have is Corax as a grey base, which is kind of annoying, but also at the same time we had a brush just here we were using before, so we'll just quickly get some grey on that as per se, just to make it a little easier for when I do indeed actually prime. It will. And just make sure I get. Just make sure the base rim's also. Here we go. Right, cool. That fixes that issue. Problem solved. Anyway, as I was saying, I actually forgot to dry brush these 3 models. See, as you can tell, there is a vast difference in texture and colour between the models, because these guys have been dry brushed and these guys haven't. So maybe what I'll do is I'll grab not that. I'll grab the Perexy white And I will find a dry brush, which is just here, which seems to have some bristles being painful. I'll just get some water into that. Yep. We just grab some of this and we'll get it on our dry palette, which is just being brought across screen. And let's attempt now to yeah, it's too much on that. I need that kind of consistency. For it to the point of the dry brushing was to hit the edges of the model to give us a different color shift, slightly dirty weathered looking, that's not what it's supposed to have. But unfortunately, I can tell you now that these have fallen through the cracks. So this dry brushing is going over the top of panel lining, which you ask me is a ballsy technique, but I guess it will do, because I'm going to say that one is done. Let's make sure that I've got a bit on the brush. Way too much coming off the brush. That's better. So yeah, the whole point of this is to hit the edges of the model as you can see there, allowing different colors to shine through. So I've got enough on the back of my hand, I could probably, we'll just quickly as you can see, just trying to provide the slightest little bit of color shift. On the edges of I'm going to say that's kind of done. And we'll move into the next guy. Obviously, this is a little bit frustrating that I forgot this technique, because now I have to go and do it over the top of already completed panel lining, which is slightly annoying, to be honest. Panel lining can be quite painful to, was quite painful to do to a degree, but I guess the whole point again in this was just to break up the white primer that I used, obviously giving a bit more of a dirty feel to the model, so it didn't look as clean cut. As I said, the white primer. So yeah, we're going to go with that and leave it at that, because it's frustrating as that is. My stupidity, my forgetfulness has caused that slight issue. So now the back of my hand is covered in, and the fore of my hand is now covered in dry paint, dry brush paint. But yeah, so obviously you can see that we are getting through some more of this modelling. These guys who have been glued and finished, I guess I can actually go in and find the right brush. I think this was the one. If not, it was this one. So there we go. Right, let's start getting all this filled in. Lovely. Work around that rock. Alright, let's now push across. I almost need to sit this on a 45-degree angle so I can see what I'm looking at. You know what? Oh, I can. Who said crisis suits aren't useful for more than one purpose? So this will allow us to. So now we can start really getting some thicker stuff down. With the intent of trying to again black in that where the hole is, where it's let's just quickly get the rest of this base completed with most of the other stuff, and then we can actually just focus on, and this, to be honest, I don't actually mind getting that in there and around there, because again it makes it look like they're actually physically standing in snow. So a little bit of snow on their boots is okay. And we'll move on to the next one, which again get some of this on and down and around, and hope to plug up the colour holes or problems that I'm having there with that when they went back down again. In terms of when I glued them back in to position, I forgot to even just, which I'll try and remember to do in future, just prime, as you can see, which I've done with that base before. I just quickly hit the area with some grey just to try and just makes things a little easier getting all that sorted. So let's shoot through this at 100 mile an hour, because actually nailing the rest of this is going on nice and easy. Yeah, we're getting it everywhere on the brush, but so be it. That's the problem with not being able to see where you're putting your brush when everything wants to float around, and this stuff is not the greatestly easy to get out of a jar. I will admit that I do have a little bit of trouble, so We'll just make sure that it's nice and dense around there, and then try and tidy up the rest. Here we go. Another one bites the dust, guys. Another one down. Another one bites the dust. Right. I did have a take one of these things off there so I can actually physically clean that, but as I'm only using a couple of paintbrushes today and a couple of bits of paint, I'm gonna, and it's a short sharp one, which you can see, short and sharp, I will pack up again because I'm going to get myself organised for some other chores. And yeah, that's the end of that. So like I've been saying, guys, if you manage to get onto it and I've forgotten, don't forget there's the competition up. Give that a comment. It's not hard. It's on the 3 different places: Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. I'm pretty easy to find. Just search Red Blur Gaming. You should be able to locate me. All my profiles are public. And from there, you comment on the post that is there talking about the 100 subs. It has Dark Strider as the photo. And next week on Saturday, guys, I will be doing the live draw on live stream for it. So as per normal, that's all from me. Peace out and bye for now.